The way I approach kicks is I have Drumazon for the 909 and I give it a couple rounds of distortion and EQing. For EQ I use FabFilter Q2 and I just distort then EQ, so anything before the distortion will change the sound drastically. Anything after is just to clean it up. This is what gives you the EQ before the distortion, that's what gives you the crunch, and after that you want to equalize it and clean it up for the next round of distortion. And I keep doing that, and maybe every couple strips I'll throw in actually every strip I throw in a Oxford inflator if I need it to tame the peaks and control the sound, keep it from clipping. And here's the other strips right here. EQing, doesn't matter what it looks like, it's all about what it sounds like. Good trick, when you high pass it around the 30 hertz and below, just move it around and play with the slope. You can get different sounds. And if you're gonna use asymmetric distortion, you're gonna have to, after it, you're gonna have to high pass it to bring it back to center. And so what I do is, once I have a sound that I like, I'll bounce it like so. Down here I have a couple waveforms, a couple kicks from the same 4 strips, and I bounce the ones that I liked. And after that I move I take the bits and parts that I like and I start layering stuff together like so. Color code them to know what's what. Green, that's the tail and the talk. Here's a different tail for the light blue, and the low end down here, these two. And from chopping up the different parts of the different kicks that I made, I got this right here. It's muted. This is the result right here. I'll check sometimes on the scope and on the fab filter to see what the frequencies look like and what the waveform looks like. It's tight. No loud clicks or pops, loud frequencies. And after that, with this particular one, I bounced it right here and I imported it into a different project to not have so many audio files and groups and tracks open. So I took the kick from here and I imported it into this project, and from here I EQ'd it, and pretty much this is where I make it sound like a hardstyle kick right here. I'll EQ whatever I have to. Here, when you cut it up, you might want to you're gonna have to put linear phase EQs on it to keep it in phase, the whole kick in general. Otherwise, the waveform's gonna look crazy. Here I added a snare because it added to the kick. Basically, you can do whatever you want with the kick once you have it cut up. Make it sound cool, make it sound unique, which is why that's my thing, uniqueness. Here's green is the tick, that's the decay, tail and the low end. As you can see, some frequencies I didn't like, so I cut out, I notched out, low passed it. Linear, everything that's from the same kick, it's linear phased. If it's just a random sample that I have, there's no need. You can, if it doesn't sound good, you can shift it a little bit to change the phase. You can have a pretty good result just by changing. If it didn't sound right at first, you can just move it a little bit and it'll sound to where it fits. Let's see. All I did was high pass it on this one, and I didn't have to shift it. The frequencies worked well in the phase it was at. And I also added reverb because it adds to the kick. Makes it sound better. Makes it sound more unique, more crunchy. And I'll play each part individually. Here's kick. DK. For the reverb, I used Valhalla, and I used it as a send on the, where's it at? It's, let's see. It is, oh goodness, can't find it. Into talk. Well, it's the Valhalla, and I have it as a send to everything except the low end. And I have it in a project right here. If I can. This is all about how it sounds. It's all by ear. And once you cut it up, then you can start adding the scopes and the analyzers to make sure everything's good. Make sure the final product is good. At first, it's all about the way it sounds. Here's the kick in action. Also, if you start to see that the same kick doesn't fit together when you start layering it, make sure that your original kick, those parts have linear phase EQing, and yeah, be careful with that. Now go ahead. Here's the kick down here. Right there. That's the kick. Thank you.